Hello and welcome to the Steve Kayla Show. Now I know just over 10,000 of you have already listened to our interview with Jane Mully, the homeless lady from Yeovil Town Centre, known locally as Jungle Jane. I've wanted for some time to remaster that episode, just polish the audio a little bit, because Jane and I were sat just outside Argos, sat on the street with a couple of lapel mics and an iPhone, and I know much more now about podcasting and editing now than I did back then. That was when we very first started. Since this episode released a couple of years ago, Jane has seen an influx of people buying her coffee or buying her food or giving her some change, and that's great, and that's a real testament to the community. Now I know also that this episode was very, very controversial, and understandably so. A lot of people were grateful that we helped to tell a little bit of Jane's story, and in some ways humanised her a little bit more, and people paid more attention to her on the street. But Jane, like a lot of other people live on the street, live on the periphery of society and its rules. And it doesn't mean that they don't have a story that could be told or that they don't deserve some measure of empathy and help. So I'm going to let you listen to the full interview. And as always, if you could do me a favour, if you're listening to this on Spotify, then click the follow button and leave us a 5-star review. We don't just want to be Yeovil's biggest podcast. We want to be a nationally large podcast. And then we can promote local Yeovil businesses and help put Yeovil on the map in a really positive way. But anyway, that's enough out of me. Here is our now famous interview with Jane Mully. So, what's your name? Let's start there.
My name's Jane Mully.
Jane Mully, oh yeah. And what brought you down to Yeovil?
Basically, I got pregnant and the bloke that got me pregnant decided that he didn't want to know, so I moved down to where my parents were living, which happened to be in Child at the time.
Okay. And what happened with the baby? Have you got children? Have you got kids?
Yeah, I've got a boy and I had 2 girls, but I had my last one adopted, so I just brought 2 up.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. We're next to Argos and we're in a sort of alcove here. So what happened? How did you end up sleeping here?
Well, I've been in prison about 6 times.
What sort of things do you do for prison? Is that for...
Basically, they got an injunction out on me, so I kept breaking it because I wasn't supposed to be in Yeovil.
Yeah.
In the high street, but I decided I didn't care, so I just carried on doing it.
Yeah.
So I kept getting arrested all the time.
So was it a case of then when you got out of prison you didn't have anywhere to go?
Yeah.
So that's why you ended up here?
That's why I ended up homeless.
So what is your day-to-day life like? Like how do you cope?
I just take each day as it comes, basically. That's all I can do.
So do you have anywhere that you stay, like, you know, there's like Barnabas House and stuff, like do you stay there?
Where I got told I wasn't allowed to go there because they're closing down soon.
Are they?
Yeah.
What do you do on a so what's your average day like? So in the morning you'll get up, and then how do you survive day to day?
I just basically just exist, you know. I just, like I said, I just take each day as it comes, basically.
Yeah. And how do you find at weekends, because obviously you spend a lot of time in the town centre,
yeah,
and how do you find people's reaction to you, people who've been drinking? Do you find that you get a few more quid from people who've been drinking, or do you find it's a bit more stressful?
Sometimes, but sometimes I get abused as well.
Yeah. What makes you stay in the centre of Yeovil? I mean, do you know if you have any family anywhere else, or?
Yeah, I've got family all over the place, so you know, it's just like I say, they've got their own lives, so really I can't expect them to sort of support me. I've got to support myself.
And what are other people like? Other people in Yeovil who are in your same situation? Like, have you built up like a friendship network now, where you're friends with other people who are in a similar situation?
Yeah, we all stick together. We all help each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you would like people to know? Because a lot of people are going to hear this now. So is there anything that you would like people to know when they see you next time? Or, you know, is it stuff like, because I remember I was homeless, and I remember that the worst thing is people avoiding eye contact or not wanting to say hello because they think I'm going to ask them for money.
Right.
Is there anything that you want people in Yeovil to know?
Just that I'm a human being and that I've got feelings, and, you know, just give me a little bit of respect, that's all I ask.
Yeah, I think you've earned that. That's great. So Jane, what was it like to live in town on the streets during COVID? How different was it to normal?
Well, it was really empty at the time. There was hardly anybody around.
Yeah. Did you struggle more because there was less people to give change?
Yeah, I just struggled a lot.
Yeah. And do you think it's getting a little bit better now? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting better.
And how did it affect you? Were you worried about the virus, or did you think, it's not another thing to worry about? Or?
No, I didn't worry about it.
No, just you got bigger things to worry about. Yeah. And the other thing.
Life would be great if you could walk along and then be fucked all the time.
Is there anything else that you think that I should know, or is there any other part of your story you think that we should talk about?
I think that's about it, really.
Yeah? That's okay. Well, listen, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for talking to me. And hopefully, maybe in a couple of weeks, we can do it again. I'll check in with you and see how you're doing. And,
okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, cheers.
So there we are. I hope that enlightened and informed, and I hope you found that interesting. Just to let you know, Jane was paid very, very well for the 4 or 5 minutes that we spoke to her. She was lovely, and the second we sensed that she didn't want to talk anymore, she wanted to move on, we just said goodbye and got out of there. So remember to click that follow button or subscribe or leave us a review wherever you're listening to this. It really, really helps. And our next episode is with another local Yeovil legend, Dave the Tan.